Welcome back, everyone. This is Super Kelly Brothers Podcast, episode 183 for the 23rd of October 2022. My name's Sloan Kelly.
And my name is James Baker.
And Jody's not here.
He's got the COVID.
He's got the vid.
Got
so yeah, him and Evelyn. So speedy recovery and all that.
Absolutely, they sound like they're pretty poorly.
Yeah, I haven't spoken to him, but I saw his text, and even his text looked poorly. He's like, I can't make it today.
I know.
Taking the rip out of the guy.
I know. You do have to feel pretty poorly. I remember when I first had it, and then we were still doing this, and we were doing the Mandalorian and stuff, and I was just like, it was one night I just thought, I can't do this.
Yeah,
I can't do it. And essentially, I mean, you're just sitting here chatting about things that you love, but you just if you can't do it, and that's the thing.
Yeah,
it can really take the wind out yourselves.
Put a dampener on your day, that's for sure. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it doesn't matter how much you enjoy something. It's like, if you're not up for it, you're not up for it.
I'm laughing, right? They think I'm laughing at them. I'm not. But you know what I'm laughing at?
You get to go in the podcast.
I remember having COVID and feeling really, really incredibly bad, right?
Yeah.
And then I remember I said to Julian, you're going to have to take me to hospital because I'm unsure as to how I'm going to be. And I remember Jody giving me some shit. He's like, I caught you. You were out in the motor. I seen you.
That's right.
I was on my way to the COVID centre because I thought I was going to die.
Oh, how the turntables.
Yes, of course. So, anyway, speedy recovery.
Yeah, best of luck, everyone.
So,
Feel better.
I stood in. So
yeah, you had a busy weekend this week as well. You were at the pictures.
Sorry?
You had a busy weekend this week.
Yes, I've been at pictures a couple of times. I went this afternoon, and I've been I went during the week there. So
nice,
busy weekend, and I was working. So, but we'll save that for what you've been watching.
Exactly, what you're watching. But right now, it is the tea. So yeah, apparently, Netflix have been listening to this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I doubt it, but Netflix is turning its streaming services around because one of the things that we've suggested many a time on this podcast is just do what Disney Plus is doing and just release your series piecemeal, rather than big massive dump.
Yeah,
and it turns out that Netflix are like, that sounds like a good idea, and they've started to do that.
Is Michael Caine in charge of Netflix?
I think he is. You're only supposed to blow the bloody toss off.
She's only 17. Gentle internet, good night. Netflix.
Look at you, son. You don't even have a name badge.
Good for them.
Yeah, good for them. Yeah, well done. So they've announced a few things as well to turn their fortunes around. First is they're introducing a lower tier Netflix subscription, which is starting in November, I think, which is adverts.
Mm.
So if you want adverts along with all your favorite movies and TV shows, then you can get a cheaper Netflix subscription.
Do you know what the price difference is, percentage-wise? We're getting 25% off it? Or?
I don't know.
Not been released yet?
Yeah, it's not been released yet, yeah.
It's hard to because I like the idea of it. And if they said it's half price, you'd be like, well, I'm keeping Netflix, with the cost of living going up, that's going to make a big difference.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely. Yeah, I mean, people are looking at cost cutting measures just now because, I mean, the UK's in the middle, is heading into winter, and they've been told that their bills are getting jacked up by like crazy amount, like 6x type electricity bills and stuff. Yeah. So, I mean, obviously people are like, well, I'll just get rid of streaming then. And we added up, I think we spend...
Or steal this content, which you don't want.
Yeah. I mean, it's like Netflix would be the ideal candidate for us because we don't really watch that much Netflix. We watch a lot of Disney through Disney Plus, and we watch a lot of Prime. Not so much Netflix. So Netflix is on the kind of shaky peg in our house anyway.
Oh, yeah. No, I get it.
So, yeah, but so their way to sort of eke this out a bit is to stop people from subscribing for a month and then leaving, and the way they do that is eke out the episodes. Who knew? That's how TV studios have been doing it for years.
But also, you know, we've also discussed this before. It's you've got your water cooler chat.
There is that, yes.
So, what are you doing? What's this? What are you guys talking about? We're talking about this TV show. You should watch it. You can watch the first two and catch up with us, and then we can chat about it next week.
Yeah,
all that kind of stuff. And I remember when Stranger Things, every single season of Stranger Things, we've watched it, all four of us, myself and Gillian, Faith and Heidi, together as a family, except this last, like season 4, where I was doing something, Faith was doing something, she was going to Italy the next day, and she was like, I'm blasting this. You're at work, Dad. I can't wait for you. I don't want it spoiled on TikTok. You know, and I was like, oh, I felt like a wee bit deflated by it.
Yeah.
She had to watch it because, you know, and it affected my enjoyment of it.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Almost felt like I didn't want to watch it. You know, I know it sounds weird, but it's important to me when I'm watching something. If I can watch it with my family, then I'll enjoy it 100 times more.
Do you know, actually, you mentioned that, but that killed Lost for me. So as a family, we watched Lost, and for some reason, I know what it was. We'd cancelled the subscription to whatever Lost was on, whatever channel Lost was on. We did it. We got rid of it. My son, however, found on whatever website he got the first 10 episodes, and I had this idea of, well, we'll just buy the box set because it'll be cheaper anyway. But then he goes, "Oh, I've watched it," and I was like, "Well, I don't want to watch it now."
Yeah, it's
like, I'm like, well, the whole point was for us all to sit down as a family and enjoy this, and it's like you went away and watched this.
And I think Faith's at that age, even if she wasn't going to Italy the next day, she would have wanted to have watched it in a big chunky bit. You know, like 2 days, a lot of hours to devote, and I just couldn't do it from work. Gillian couldn't do it from work.
Yeah.
So it kind of, I'm glad they're doing it because that Stranger Things 4, it was, I wouldn't say ruined, that is a harsh term, but it didn't have the extra value.
Took a little bit of the oomph out of it.
It did, yeah, and I'm happy paying for Netflix just now, and that would make me think, maybe I could give it up, but if they do it, I like it.
Yeah. I mean, the counter argument is, of course, if you get into a show and you're like, oh, let's just watch one more episode. But there is that kind of nicety where it's like Andor and everything else that Disney's put out. You get that kind of you get to wait for next week, and there's part of that excitement again about watching the show because before that it's like, oh no, don't tell me because I've not watched it yet. And then you can't. Then you can't go back and discuss it at the time that it's happened. Like I've got a friend at work, and we always talk about like what happened in Andor last night.
Yeah,
because we both watched it the previous night because that's when it's on. It's on, and the Wednesday, and it's like, whoa, this is great. So I like it for that. I like that kind of water cooler. You can chat about it thing, and that kind of that weight.
So is it all TV shows then?
I don't know.
Absolutely everything. No, we're going through a Netflix thing just now. Oh, sorry, not we. Me and Heidi are doing it. It's Human Playground, I think it's called. Idris Elba narrates it, and it just talks about extreme sports and stuff, and how people their life for playing. Very, very interesting documentary. And I think if that was on every week, we would all watch it. Because it's just like this, 6 episodes, one and done. I'm the only one majorly watching it, and Heidi just jumps in every so often. And it would feel more special if it was week to week. Definitely.
Yeah, definitely, because it feels more of an event rather than anything else. And and it doesn't necessarily like I. The reason why I like streaming services is you can watch it whenever you want. So if you want to blast the whole thing, wait until everything's out and then blast it. Then you could do it that way, or you can watch it episodically every single week, and then you get that event there. So
Hassan Minaj has got a TV show on Netflix, and that came out every week.
Mhm.
So it was a new episode. So on that day, you'd feel like you had a wee buzz because that was on that day.
Yeah.
Back when Star Trek was on Netflix, over here at least, when Discovery was getting released, it was released every week, and I was like, I'd get up first thing and like I'm talking 5 or 6 o'clock, and I'd watch it on that Friday when it was released. So,
it's the same as the 100 as well. The 100 was on the CW on the Wednesday night, I think it was, and then it was released to Netflix on the Thursday. So I'd get it a day later, but I'm like, it's fine. It's a great show.
Yeah.
I'll wait for it. One of my guilty pleasures, the 100, but I like a good dystopian future.
Well done, Netflix.
Yeah,
finally,
well done. Finally understanding it. The other thing about just sticking on Netflix as well is they were getting into a bit of trouble recently because they said that they didn't want to put a disclaimer out in front of the Crown because people will know that it's a dramatization and not historical fact, and they've backtracked. now they're putting out a disclaimer in front of the trailer saying this is a dramatization and not historical fact.
All right. Is it Netflix that have got The Luckiest Girl Alive?
I don't know actually.
Is it Mila Kunis? Is that her name?
Oh right, yeah.
Oh, The Luckiest Girl Alive.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah,
it's based on a true story, but there's some apparently I heard this during a film on Netflix, but apparently there's no warning prior to watching it, and there is some like really, really like some bad stuff happened to some good people.
Oh really?
It needs like it's a proper trigger warning, and people are complaining like, I can't believe I was allowed to watch this without at least someone saying these extreme events are going to happen.
Yeah.
So I had quite a lot of complaints about this. The film's meant to be great. The film's meant to be good, but she's meant to be brilliant in it.
Yeah.
But the thing that really lets it down is the fact that you're not warned prior to it. So, funny. All right.
Next one is, well, you're going to talk about this more, but just thought I'd bring it in, which is Black Adam. Debuts at number 1 in the American box office with $67 million. Dwayne Johnson's first DC extended universe, is that what they're calling it? DCEU.
I think initially it was. It feels very much. It feels like it is not extended, but definitely part of.
Oh, okay.
Now, so it doesn't feel extended anymore. But I think when it was first announced, it was definitely meant to be extended. But now it definitely feels exactly part of.
Yeah. But yeah, internationally kicked off with 73 million, so 140 million opening weekend, which is not too bad.
No, not too shabby. Not too shabby. Well done. I tell you, I was a bit lukewarm about this, and I think I could have potentially passed this up and just waited. I promise you this: there was potential for me to never ever see this film. Do you know that? Because I felt like if I didn't go and see it in the pictures, and if it came on Sky Movies, there was potential for me to not ever properly watch it, because there are some films that's happened with. But seeing how hard Dwayne Johnson was working, like when he was doing it, he was going to all around the world, and he was just
massive. Crap at this movie. Yeah.
And I thought, you know what? And he was actually saying this is like one of the best. Like this is like a spectacle. Like you have to go see it. And I just believed him. So I said to Faith, I was like, we're going to go see this opening weekend. Like I'm not just going to leave it till like a midweek thing. Like I'm going to take 3 or 4 hours out of my day to travel to the pictures, get popcorn and all the rest of it, and we're going to sit and watch this.
Yeah.
So I messaged into the wee family group, and then it was about 8 of us went. So me and Mark, who's my sister's, my brother-in-law, and we took like a load of kids, and Jay came as well.
Oh, right. Okay.
There was 8 of us that went to see it, and it was brilliant.
Wow.
Very,
Cool.
very good. And I'm so glad I went to see the pictures.
Because James Bond is in it as well, isn't it? Pierce Brosnan, he's in it.
He is in it. He is in it. Yeah. So, but listen, I'll talk about that more later on. But I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised because of his hard work. You know, jumping around the globetrotting and promoting it.
Yeah, I think sometimes think that he and Ryan Reynolds are the world's. This is probably wrong, so I apologize to everyone out there who's working harder than them. But they appear to be the hardest working people in Hollywood right now.
Aye,
they're always doing something.
Yeah, lots of press junkets. I mean, like on Facebook, but oh, it's The Rock doing a Black Adam thing with this guy, with that girl, with these couple, with both these guys, and it's just like, you know,
he's everywhere.
Will Smith and Tom Cruise probably a close second, or they're probably The Rock and Ryan are probably taking a leaf out of their books. To be fair, because they were probably put the first.
I think, is Will Smith not doing an apology tour just now, though?
Probably.
Slightly different. I saw, what was that? I saw, it was a couple of months ago. He gave this lukewarm apology. And it was like, you know, my door's always open if you want to come around and see me. It's like, I wouldn't want to go around and see him if he'd slap me in the face.
I know.
So, yeah. Anyway, good news.
What is
that? Not that Jody's not here, but we can talk about Star Trek. So,
you put this in the notes, but I've not seen this.
I did. So this is the dude from what's his name? Callum Rennie. What's his name? Callum Keith Rennie. That's his name. And he's the new High Heejin in Discovery. He's taken over from, I guess, Michelle Yeoh.
Oh, right, okay.
So he's
Michelle Yeoh wasn't really in it though. I mean, what is he? Who's he? What is he the captain of?
The Discovery.
Oh, so he's taken. Oh, so he's taken over from Sunita Martin Green.
Sure.
Michael.
I have never watched this show. I got as far as 2 seconds into the first episode, which is where they were screaming at each other in Klingon, and I thought to myself, I don't think this is for me. It was too colourful.
Oh, you need to go back.
I'm not kidding. That's what I thought.
Oh, so he's taken over from Sunita Martin Green. Yeah. Martin Green.
You may recognise him from such things as Battlestar Galactica.
Yes,
he was one of the Cylons.
If I had watched it.
Come on, man! You got to go back and watch that.
I do have it. It's somewhere else.
You should be watching it because the guy that was heavily involved in Star Trek was involved in rejigging that show.
Who's that? Kurtzman?
No, Moore. Is it Moore? Oh, God, what's his name? Ronald D. Moore.
Right.
Ronald D. Moore. That guy. This guy here. This guy. Best known for his work on Star Trek, reimagined Battlestar Galactica. He worked on Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, Battlestar Galactica, Caprica, Helix, Outlander, and For All Mankind. For All Mankind, which is technically a precursor to Star Trek as well, apparently. So there you go.
So, no, I did not know that. Did not know his face is it seems familiar, but I still can't place it.
Did you watch?
Go on.
Did you watch the Umbrella Academy season? No. The season that was just there. All right, okay. He plays Harlan in that.
Oh, well, interesting.
Yeah, and he's got pointy ears.
Has he got pointy ears?
Yeah, I'll zoom in a wee bit.
So he has.
So there you go. Trying.
Is he Vulcan or Romulan?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Okay.
Unclear.
Although, because Vulcan has been destroyed, they're all the same now.
Well, that's true. Yeah, they're all just
I can't remember the name of the planet they're all from, but he'll be something.
Because the whole reunification thing happened with Spock, and he did all that stuff. So yeah, I don't know if he's Vulcan or not, but apparently he's like a wartime captain. That's what he's been billed as. So expect more action adventure.
Yes, indeed. I do recommend you go back and watch it. I think it's such a good show.
Actually, do you know what we need to do? We need to go back and redo the 5 to 10 episodes of Star Trek: Strange New Worlds. You had that exclusive for here. We have comments. Get to bed.
Oh, it's sticking.
It's acrylic painting with Jody Kelly.
I know.
Sticking in the Star Trek story with a turn my back. Cough, cough. Yeah. Go off to bed. He'll be sitting. Do you know what he'll be doing? He'll be sitting in bed watching this with his Ovaltine and his wee water bottle sitting there. Vicks Vapor Rub.
Can you get me a cup of tea, darling?
I'm absolutely gasping. I am.
Yeah, he'll be like, "Do not go gentle into that. Good night."
Oh my God, fathers. Oh, that's Harry H. Corbett. Sorry. Well, it's good that Jodie's able to type something on a
the poor man.
Maybe he's got one of those like speech to talk with things or something. Good news. Harrison Ford here seen stunned. It's a terrible photograph.
He is so miserable.
He's like he's leaving Lucasfilm and he's joining another Disney division, Marvel this time. He's apparently taken over from the late great William Hurt.
William Hurt, R.I.P.
R.I.P. William Hurt. Who that's Al Pacino now. Who played General Thunderbolt Ross, yeah. So he's going to take over from him. So that's kind of cool. So he's going to be in the new Captain America 4 movie.
Was it New World Order?
Yes. Sam Wilson obviously back as Cap. And yeah, he's going to be Thunderbolt Ross, which is kind of interesting. Wonder if he's going to turn into Red Hulk.
Here's hoping. Yes, absolutely.
My guess is that that would probably be cheaper than having Harrison Ford on set.
I know. Is he 80?
He's up there. He must be. So Ford, how old is he? He's 80. He is exactly 80 years of age. He's just turned 80. And so, yeah.
Oh,
how old was William Hurt? William Hurt must have been pushing 70, or if he was 70. He was 71 when he died. There you go.
I don't know, man. I don't know why they've hired him.
I don't want to be cruel, but would you not have got like a younger actor to play him and made him older? Yeah, exactly. I mean, you've got the ability to de-age people. Surely you've got the ability to age people.
Age a wee bit, and then just, you've got them for like 15
a while. Yeah, because I'm assuming that they might do another movie with Thunderbolt Ross, considering there's one called The Thunderbolts.
I know.
So, they might need him again.
I know.
It's a bit of a risk.
I'm not crazy excited about that. It's really big news, but I'm not mentally. I'm just like, okay. That's weird.
I'm waiting for Jody to jump in and tell us that we're wrong and how important this is for the MCU. Silence so far.
They do have a history of hiring, pretty famous people and not really giving them massive roles.
Patrick Stewart.
Yes. Yeah. Michelle Pfeiffer.
Michelle Pfeiffer, yeah. She was in it for 4.5 seconds, I think. Screen time.
Yeah,
Probably got a massive check from that. Good for her.
and
Nothing wrong with that. Deserved.
that wasn't once in time either.
Yeah, that's right. She was in it for only 2 seconds, and you're Van Dyne. Bye.
So
Yeah.
anyway, we'll wait and see.
We'll see.
I hope it works. I hope it does work out. I love the whole Red Hulk story is a cracking thing to be told on on film.
Do you know what was really cruel? Was at the end of She-Hulk. Well, maybe not the end of She-Hulk, but it was like the last 10 minutes of it, where she meets Kevin, and I think you've watched it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Spoilers for the end of She-Hulk if you haven't watched it.
Spoilers for Jody.
Yeah, spoilers for Jody because he's not watched it. So close your ears when you hear that. He says, "I'll see you in the movies," and she goes, "Really?" And he goes, "No." I was like, "Oh, that's cruel." I'm kind of hoping that's a joke.
I think she will be.
Yeah.
But do you know what? It's the whole Hulk thing where he can feature in MCU movies, but he can't have a film
on his
like
own. Yeah.
On his own.
Yeah.
Which is fair enough, right? But it's so good he's there because in the comic books, he works best of all when he's fighting another major character. Like whether it's a misunderstood battle, so he's fighting another goodie, or if it's just fighting another kind of powerhouse who's a bad guy, i.e. Red Hulk.
Yeah.
But he's fought Wolverine, and fingers crossed, that's on its way.
That's going to
happen. He has fought the Thing, Ben Grimm from Fantastic
Four.
That's a fairly famous rivalry. Who's he fought as well? He fought the Red Hulk. You can just imagine all these things.
Daredevil as well.
I don't think so. Maybe he has, but it's not really. That wouldn't really be like a big fight,
Unless it's in a corridor.
Unless it's in a corridor where I fear for the Hulk's life.
Matt is best when he's in a corridor.
I know. So,
by the way, this podcast is this episode of this podcast is the happiest stories ever, because Ryan Johnson is coming back and he's got his knives out for you, Jody. He says that the Star Wars trilogy will happen. God, I hope so. To quote Ryan Johnson.
Is that happening?
He's still talking it up. And he's talking about there's going to be more Knives Out movies. I'm sure there is going to be more Knives Out movies because he signed a deal with Netflix for like 3 or 4 of them. So there are going to be more Knives Out movies. But he says, I've talked to Kathy, Danger Will Robinson, about it, and we're still talking about it. I've had such an amazing experience making The Last Jedi. Well, we had such an amazing experience watching The Last Jedi. It's entirely a matter of scheduling. For me, putting this glass onion out and making the next one of these, the answer is, I don't know. When asked directly if he'll definitely return to the Star Wars trilogy in the future, he answers, God, I hope so. Jody, thoughts? So, yeah, there you go.
I wonder if we'll see what happens to that kid who was sweeping up at the end.
I hope so. That's what I hope for. Is with the kid that reaches out for the broom, just at the camera like that, and
I know
pulls the broom out of thin air.
I don't know what to say about this. I don't know what to say. I mean, at the time, I said I really, really liked that film, and you could say now, well, how many times have you watched it? And I'd be like, twice.
Yeah, it is
twice. I struggle to go back and watch it.
Yeah, I've seen it more than twice. I've seen it maybe 3 or 4 times. Let me put it this way: I've seen it more than I have Rise of Skywalker. I cannot watch that movie. I watched that movie, and it was the same face that I pulled when I saw The Phantom Menace. I was like, "The hell is this I'm watching?" It's just none of it somehow Palpatine found a way back, or whatever it is, the line, and it's like that's your big bad, really? Like we can't have another big bad. What about Darth Plagueis? Bring him back. We haven't seen him on screen.
I think I think it suffered definitely from it. The Force Awakens was a secret reboot.
Yeah,
and because of that fact, that whole new trilogy wasn't really allowed to breathe. They weren't really allowed to. I don't know. I didn't feel like they could have. At that point, those seeds should have been planted for the third movie's big bad, and they weren't.
Yeah,
because they were just too busy looking for the cash. Fair enough, and I totally get it. I would be as well, but that did make that the third movie suffered for it.
Yeah,
because that's what we had was the Emperor.
I mean, I think so. I was mentioned before we hit the big red button to go live that I was in Disney Springs. There's two stores side by side. There's the Star Wars store and there's the Marvel store.
So Disney Springs, for the uninitiated, is like the shopping center for Disney.
Yeah, it's basically it's there. It used to be called Downtown Disney, so that kind of gives you an idea. It's shops, dining, and entertainment. They have like a big open stage, and you can sit and there's like a bandstand, and you can listen to bands and all that kind of stuff that are there. They have like eateries and gelato places and restaurants and shopping and all that kind of stuff. And it's been much more expanded since like when we first started going there. It was like there's a place called Pleasure Island, which is where all the sort of adults were. That's why it's called Pleasure Island. And they've taken that idea and sort of expanded on it because it used to be the cinema and then a couple of shops and then Pleasure Island, and now it's like this massive shopping complex. It's like, was it Silverburn? Is that what it's called in Glasgow?
Yes. So, yeah.
Imagine like 4 times the size of that.
Right.
It's
okay.
Huge. It's a massive complex. Anyway, there's 2 shops side by side each other, and one of them is Star Wars, one of them is the Marvel Universe. And we went into the Star Wars shop, and it was plenty of room. You could get around, no problem. Nobody was in it. There was like me and one other guy going like, "Do you want this one?" Pointing to the child to his kid, and the kid's like, "Yeah, sure." We went into Marvel, and oh my god, it was like this with people, and it was just like rammed that you couldn't get in to look at anything. It was just night and day. And that's what the problem is: the fact that Star Wars, other than the child, isn't really relatable to new audiences. They've not found that hook to get people in, unlike say Star-Lord or Iron Man or Hulk or any of the characters.
Well, that is interesting.
Yeah, like I said, they're right beside each other, and it's like people are making a conscious decision of what direction to go to, and they're turning right.
It's weird because if it was you or I, we'd go to both.
Yeah, and I did.
But some people are just bypassing.
I was this close. There was a missed minute, and I was like, oh man, there was a missed minute plushie, and I was like, that would look so good right up there.
Just there.
Kind of regretting not getting it now. But
how much was it?
It's like $30 or something. Yeah, standard kind of plushy price.
Yeah.
But it looked amazing. I mean, it looked really cool. Yeah. Kind of wish I had got it, but anyway, I got an Andor shirt, and that was it. So yeah, and then the last story is Creed. So I don't know. This isn't Warner's, is it? It's Paramount. Oh no, it's MGM. Wait, this is Amazon. Amazon are bringing this out.
Well, they've bought the whole kind of Rocky back catalogue.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah, so that like you go and you want to watch anything. So MGM, obviously Bond, anything like that is on Amazon.
Wow.
So they've bought the full back catalogue. So there are more Rocky films to come, or more Creed films to come. But this franchise is going absolutely nowhere. I mean, like in the best possible sense.
Is that? Not fit. Oh, it is. Jonathan Majors, yeah.
Look at the state of him. He looks phenomenal.
Yeah.
Michael
Getting
B.
ready
Jordan.
for his Kang role. Do you know? See when you watch movies now, you're going like, oh, they're in the MCU. Oh, they're in the MCU.
I know. It's just what happens.
Yeah.
This trailer looks really good. I didn't watch this trailer when it first came out. You know, I was looking at things on YouTube and it kept on wanting to offer me the Creed 3 trailer. Look at the state of him. Oh my word!
So is Jonathan the baddie, the antagonist in this?
I think Creed, when they were younger, they were both, something happened, and then obviously I think Jonathan Major's character.
She's in it as well. King Valkyrie. Tessa thingy.
Tessa Thompson.
Yeah, Tessa Thompson. That's it. Yeah.
Aye, she's been in them all.
Oh, is she? I'm gonna confess, I've never seen a Creed movie.
Oh, they're pretty good. They are pretty good. I can't remember what was saying there. What was I saying there? Anyway,
they used to be friends.
I used to be friends. One went down for a crime. Both of them should went for a crime, and you can't hear. Obviously, we're not listening to the dialogue, but he was saying, Major's character is saying, "I watched someone else live my life whilst I was in the cell."
Oh right.
Because he felt he was equally as good a boxer.
He's got the old chip on his shoulder.
Absolutely. And this will be the first Rocky film to not actually feature Rocky.
Oh, really? So he's been in Creed all the way up to 2?
Yep, he's been in all of them. Hello, Jay. He's been in them all up until this one. And I think so you've not watched any of the Creed movies?
No.
So the first Creed film, his story was roughly, I'm kind of getting back in the game, but I'll train you. The second story was, I'm very unwell, but I can still make it. But spoilers, sorry, spoilers for a 4 or 5-year-old film. But I'm not dead. But this is the first film, though he's still alive. This will be the first film that he's not in it.
Oh, wow.
And it's also, interestingly enough, I think it's Michael B. Jordan's directorial debut.
Yes, I noticed. I was going to say that at the end there because it flashed up there and said directed by Michael B. Jordan. So
yes, absolutely,
that's cool.
Creed, very good. Those films, those Creed movies, 100% will make you leave the cinema, or once you finish watching them, and you'll feel energized. You'll feel like, and I don't care who you are. I'm a little bit into boxing, but I'm not like mad into boxing. I don't know much about it, but I know a good movie when I see one.
Yeah.
And a lot of the Rocky films are, especially the earlier ones, and Rocky Balboa. But the Creed movies are like, you'll be punching your fist in the air, punching the air.
At the end of it.
That's it. You will be. You can't help it. And that trailer looks great.
Yeah. Cool. And that's it. That's the news.
That's the news.
That's the news. That's the tea. And now we move on to the second part of it as soon as I can find the clip. Where I talk to James and I say, "What you watching?"
So, I've on Jody's recommendation, I've been watching The Bear on Disney Plus.
Oh, aye, yeah.
On the Stars side of things,
With
and
Scheme.
it's so good. It's very good. So I've nearly finished. I think I've got one more episode to watch, and I'd highly recommend anyone watch it.
Okay.
And I'm sure Jody's probably gone through the premise of it.
Yeah.
So I won't really need to, but I've been watching that. We finished watching Bad Sisters this week on Apple Plus.
Okay.
Which is absolutely brilliant.
Bad Sisters. Okay.
Bad Sisters. It is. I've said at the beginning of this podcast, and I'll say it loads, that I enjoy watching something if I've got someone to watch it with. I'm not watching The Bear with anyone. I'm watching it by myself. But myself and Gillian are watching, or finished watching, Bad Sisters, and I just really, really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. It takes place in Ireland, and there's like 5 sisters, and one of the sisters has married a complete arsehole. I mean, this guy knows no boundaries in arseholism.
Okay.
You find like within the first 5 minutes, you find out what I'm about to tell you. Someone's murdered him, and the story just goes back in time, then current time, then back in time, then current time.
Right.
No one knows who's murdered him, but he's murdered. You find this out within the first 5 minutes, and there is a subplot, not so much a subplot, maybe a little bit more than a subplot, where the local insurance company who are going to pay out on his death think there's foul play.
Okay.
And it is funny and dramatic and funny and dark. And I would highly recommend anyone watch it. And it takes place in Ireland, and it's really, really, really well shot. You can tell that's Apple money. You can tell that's cost a lot of money to film, but it doesn't look shit.
They don't. So Apple doesn't put a lot out, but when they do put something out, it's great quality.
And there's no stuff. It doesn't feel like it doesn't feel like American. Just sometimes I feel like Netflix, if they're making a British show, they want to make it American, even though it's set in. It's unapologetically Irish.
Okay.
And I would recommend anyone watch it. Okay. Whereas I think a lot of the Netflix British stuff can be apologetically British. This is just Irish, and that guy is the biggest arsehole, like on screen ever.
So is it a comedy or is it like a melodrama?
It is comedy.
Dramedy?
It will have you, it will have you laugh, it will have you cry, and it will have you intrigued. Okay. So,
because Derry Girls is good. That's a kind of uniquely Irish thing as well.
Yes, absolutely. That's definitely unapologetically Northern Irish.
Yes.
This is unapologetically Southern Irish.
Okay.
100%. It's well worth. I think both of you would like watching it.
Okay. Yeah, I'll give it a go.
Bad Sisters. If you've got Apple TV or Apple Plus, sorry, then give that.
Yeah, it's like $5 a month. It's like we were talking about like what streaming service would we get rid of, and he's like, "What about Apple? How much is that? That must cost a lot. It's $5 a month." She goes, "All right, we'll just keep that then."
All right. I know.
Talking of Irish shows, Jay's saying that she's watching the House of the Dragon. I think that's the Game of Thrones one, if I'm right.
Enough, yes. I have promised Jay that I will actually now delve into the realms of the dragon, both with the Game of Thrones and the House of the Dragon.
James.
I've made a promise. Cannot go back in it.
Well, I haven't. So
no,
I'll be your conscience.
So I think this is also partly fueled by the fact that Heidi's quite into heavy metal, and a lot of the Iron Maiden stuff sounds like they're singing about like Lord of the Rings or indeed dragons, people like riding into battle on horses, fighting orcs and elves and stuff. And I like Lord of the Rings, so I'm thinking I'm going to go back and revisit that stuff. But I'll be off for 4 weeks at Christmas. I know, Jay. I get it. Every time I meet you, that's all you talk about.
It's the House of Dragons is great. House of Dragons is greater than Game of Thrones. There you go. Is it better than Breaking Bad though?
Well, I wouldn't know because I've not seen that either.
I've not seen that. Neither have I.
No. Sometimes you're afraid to say, "Oh, do you know what? I've not seen that," and people are like, "What? You've not seen it?" And I hate it. It's okay to have not seen stuff.
I know, it's fine. There's plenty of things because you turn around and say to people, "Oh, have you watched all 3 seasons of Picard?" No. Well, there you go then.
Exactly.
That's why that's why cars come in different colors. That's why they come in different models, different shapes. It's something for everyone.
Exactly. So, I think the main things that I've watched this week.
Tripling down.
I know. The main things I've watched this week, myself and Heidi went to see Halloween Ends during the week, which
got a release on Peacock.
It did get released over there. least in Peacock, not over here, so you
Yeah.
couldn't. But I think a lot of people, I think it done all right at the box office actually. Bearing in mind people were able to watch it on Peacock for I don't know how much they paid for it. But we were so hyped up for going to go and see it. That was Heidi's first 18. I don't know what the certificates are in Canada.
It's R. There's like a NC-17 or something. I think it is.
We watch those films. I'm sure I've said this before. Like folk watch football. Like if a parent takes their child to a football match, and it's like, oh, like we might as well have had the Halloween scarves like that. That's how
Michael United.
Yes, it might as well have been because that's what we went for. So, and
bearing in mind, by the way, that Canada doesn't care really about film censorship or classification. So if you see something that's like a PG-13, it's probably an 18 in the UK.
Oh,
because the only time they ever doubled down on it was the sausage party thing. They basically said, "Do not take your child to this." That was it said it's rated R. It's rated R for a reason. That's the only one I've ever seen them doing it for.
There's your trigger warning.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The cinema's like, don't take your kids to see this.
That looks like a hot dog. It's actually just a penis.
It's the whole movie's wrong.
All right. So we went to see that, and after watching it, I thought this is going to polarize people. It's going to polarize fans because they've tried to do something different, something that hasn't been done. I don't know if you've heard anything about it or if you've seen anything. If you're in that kind of fandom, it's hard to miss it. So they've tried to do something different, and it has polarized people. But again, if I get to go and watch something like that with Heidi, and that's her first 18 movie, we snuck her in, and it was a little bit kind of, woo, that means the world to me. And then instantly, if I'm marking it at 10, it gets 2 extra points. It could be a 6, but it'll be an 8, and that's what it means to us. But it did polarize people. So amongst the Michael Myers community, you'll see. Do
they not remember Halloween 2K, whatever the hell it was called? The one where they fight in a spaceship. What was the one where they fight in a spaceship? Him and
I think they're talking about Jason Voorhees. I think you're talking about Friday the 13th. A different franchise completely.
Oh, was that? Oh, was that Voorhees? Okay. I can't remember. Yeah. There was one where they were fighting him in a spaceship.
That's Jason Voorhees.
Right,
it was like Friday the 13th. I think it was part 10. I think.
Right.
It was absolutely mentally dreadful film. really, really bad. But do you know what, Sloan? I enjoyed it, and half the community loved it, and the other half despised it. Massively polarizing. I don't think it will do great. See the test of time. See if you were to watch that movie in a couple of years' time. I don't think it'll be
as good as. Yeah.
Perhaps it will. No, I don't know. The jury's still. I'm still thinking about it, but I enjoyed the whole experience. Me and Heidi watching it together. Yeah. But I looked at her at one point, and I know what we're both there for. We're both there for a specific reason, and I don't want to spell it out because I might lead to spoilers. We're both there for a specific reason. And I looked at her at one point and I said something to her, and she complained. And I thought, you're part of the other community. You're part of the other side of the community who's ready to complain. She was satisfied in the end, ultimately.
Yeah.
But cracking film. Cracking film, I liked it. I liked the whole experience. Maybe not a cracking film, but I like the experience. But it's definitely polarizing.
Right. Okay.
People are signing this petition for a remake. All that.
There's always
stuff.
one. It's usually the neckbeards that live in basements.
And then the other film we watched, we went this afternoon to see Black Adam. And as I was saying earlier on, I went to see it opening weekend purely because I felt The Rock was literally saying, he was like coming through our TV screen or our YouTube videos into our living room and going, go and see this film because it's actually great. And I would 100% agree with him. And he's taken the DC universe. I think he's just look, it's not going great, is it, guys? Why don't you just give me this Black Adam project and I'll show you how it should be done.
Yeah. So it's linked to Shazam, isn't it, Black Adam? Because he's got the same Shazam.
Yeah, there's some crossover characters for sure.
Okay.
So it is, fundamentally that's where his powers come from, but that's really where the whole thing finishes. It's very violent, but violence that you can take your kids to see.
Okay.
Like lots of army people die, lots of tanks die, lots of helicopters die.
Right.
Really, really good. And there's not a lot of fat on this film.
Yeah.
Black Adam was so much better than I would agree. There's not a lot of fat in this film. It's like, do you know how sometimes you'll be watching a movie, right? And then someone will just be like, there's a bit of subplot and someone's trying to explain something. Well, Dwayne Johnson is like, there was a specific part of the movie, right? And this is not giving anything away. It's the part where we've got a plan. I'm gonna drop these elaborate diagrams. You know the part at the end of Star Wars where they're explaining how you kill the Death Star?
Yeah.
That bit there. So they're explaining how to kill a Death Star in this movie, right? And it's just like it was shocking. They cut to like, you know, the Kanye West Faster Stronger Daft Punk collaboration. They cut to that music about a third of the way into that plan getting explained, where Black Adam was like, I can't be bothered with this, I'm just going to kill everyone. But take that sentiment and apply that to everything about the film.
Okay.
So nothing, it is very, very fast paced. It very quickly gets into the action. There's hundreds of stylized slow motion. It is brilliant. It's like, get your popcorn, get your slush puppy, just go to the pictures. It is magnificent. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. Excited about it. And it's the world's worst cameo secret. I'm sure you'll know. Hope you know. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. There's a cameo in it, and it is the world's worst secret. Like everyone knew about it before.
Okay.
And if you didn't, then obviously you've not been.
No, I've not. I've not really had much about it because again, it's a DC movie, and I'm lukewarm on the DC universe. It's just I think there's something about it. It just feels like
go to this film not thinking it's a DC film. Go to this film thinking this is just a movie. That's your best way.
Do you know the thing is that I think the sort of the peripheral movies around DC I think work better for me, like the Joker, the Batman. They all worked much better than like Man of Steel was like. I didn't like it. And again, some of it is that I can level criticisms at MCU for being the same thing, and also Jen also learned level criticisms at the end where it's basically ends in a big CGI battle. It's like, where's the actors at? It's like, do something different than a big CGI battle. Like I watched Aquaman, for example, and it's just a big CGI battle under the sea, and I'm like, okay,
I kind of think what I'm about to say is too extreme, but see if you actually if you made The Rock your Kevin Feige of the DC universe, you wouldn't be going that far wrong. You'd be doing a lot better than you are now. I'm not saying he's the actual answer, but he's just like, give us the keys to this kingdom for about 5 minutes. I'll show you what I can do.
Because he did that with that was the whole point of Black Adam, was the fact that he was going to do it, but he was going to do it in his terms. It wasn't going to be like counting down to some studio or whatever.
Aye. So I feel, and I don't feel this about many films, like a select few, I could go and watch. If someone said that's on right now, I could go and see it again. I could go and watch that again next week. That's enjoyable. And it's not complicated. It's not like mega complicated.
Yeah.
If I want complication, I'll make sure I see Oppenheimer. I'm gonna have to study for that.
We're all gonna have to study for that, yeah.
But it's just not overly complicated. Take Mad Max Fury Road. Not a complicated film, but highly enjoyable. In fact, I'd have Black Adam down as DC's Mad Max Fury Road. That's what I've.
Okay.
Super stylized violence and great fun. Thumbs up for me. What have you been watching?
I have. Well, I've not been watching any movies, that's for sure. I've been kind of sticking to the TV shows because TV got good again. Although, so we watched there's an Al Pacino TV show called Hunters, which is about this. It's exec produced by Jordan Peele.
Is it the Nazi?
It's the Nazi Hunter. It's Hunters, yeah, and it's great. It's really good, and it's got a kind of Tarantino-esque feel to it at times.
I've seen a few episodes.
Oh, have you?
I should go back and watch it.
Yeah, it's really good, and it got us kind of hooked.
How many episodes?
10. We just finished the 10th one. There, we left. 9 was like last week, and we left the 10th one for this week. So we just finished it this week, but it's been fantastic. Yeah, what's his name? Dylan Baker's in it. And you were like, in fact, I think were we talking about audiobooks read by Dylan Baker at some point? Anyway, he's a great character actor. He's fantastic in it. The opening scene of the show is just chef's kiss. It's so good. It's such a great opening to a show. We watched Andor and She-Hulk. Finally watched She-Hulk because She-Hulk was last week. I think the finale was last week. I kind of redeemed itself towards the end. She-Hulk. I like the whole you got to talk to Kevin for that. That was funny. I kind of liked it. It was good, and I liked the post credit scene as well with Wong.
Yes,
that was good.
Did you like the nod to the Bill Bixby Blue Ferrigno?
That was hilarious. Yeah, the bit at the start, they did that really well as well. Like it was pretty accurate scene for scene remake of that section.
Sharon, who sometimes comes on the show down the shop.
Sharon here.
Oh, there you go.
She loves She-Hulk.
It's the exact same thing. And I was saying to her, I was like, "Did you finish She-Hulk?" And she was like, "Yeah, I did." And then we discussed, and you know the whole kind of Chernobyl thing where you thought you'd finished Chernobyl, but you didn't.
Yes.
Sharon thought she finished She-Hulk, and she didn't. I was describing the last.
Okay.
I was describing the episode.
She saw the last one that she missed. Yeah.
Saw the last one I missed. That's it. So we were having a laugh. I was like, "So did you see this?" And she was like, "No, I never
no."
That. Like, no. And then she said, "Oh, I must have fast forwarded the intro," and I'm just like, "Right, okay." Anyway, I'm glad she watched it because it was.
It was good. It was.
She was climbing through your Disney Plus menu.
The Disney Plus menu, yeah, because she said, "Is this how you want it to end?" And then it's like we've hit the home button, and she's like, "Wait, what?" And then she gets all kind of confused, and she's like, "Okay, I need to get into this thing." And she gets so it's kind of similar to the way that her comic book persona like rips through pages and stuff, and just goes,
exactly.
"Oh, I can't be bothered with this," and she like rips through the pages and jumps to the next frame and stuff. It's a tricky one, She-Hulk. It poked a lot of it poked fun at itself. It was self-deprecating. There was a lot of funny things in it. It took the mickey out of the intelligentsia. Is that what they called themselves? The sort of the neckbeards that live in the mum's basements. Those guys. Which is funny. Because it was exactly what happened in real life was that people like hated on She-Hulk, the TV show. So yeah, I really liked the end. I thought it was clever the way that they did that with Kevin.
Yes.
But now there's all these like crazy theories about is Kevin Mephisto or is it Kang or what's kind of stuff. So it's like, okay, or is it just a bit of fun?
I just love it all. Just whatever.
It was a good bit of fun.
Who cares?
I actually did want the first ending. I was enjoying it. Okay. Yeah, but it's why was Hulk there? The bit at the end though I really liked was the Fast and Furious picnic at the end. That was good.
Oh, yeah. I watched a few episodes of She-Hulk.
What do you think, James? And I watched Andor, which of course we're doing another watch along on Tuesday.
That's so Andor. Good. I have now listened to the music for Andor. I don't know, maybe 10 times.
It's
the full album. It is phenomenal.
Andor is the one and only TV show that I've gone back and watched multiple episodes while the thing is still airing.
Yeah.
And not just because we do the watch along on Tuesdays. Like I've watched it I've watched it twice already this week. So yeah, I've man, Andor's just brilliant. Quite liked it. There you go.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
So we'll talk more about Andor on Tuesday. The Peripheral started this week. This is Jonathan Nolan and Lisa Joy's new show for
Chris's
Prime.
brother.
Chris's brother, yep.
Yeah.
And it's Chloe Grace Moretz stars in it. She plays Flynn, and it's really good. I watched the first 2 episodes because that's the only 2 episodes they've released so far. And it's really good.
It sounded all right, and it looked good.
Yeah. It's a fairly open and shut case. It's not exactly like Tenet where you got to like think about stuff. It's like there's a near future and there's a far future, and they've somehow managed to talk to each other. Go. And so there's a bit of intrigue between the two of them. Her brother's a super soldier. Why not? It's exactly, yeah. Why not? So it's first 2 episodes really good. I enjoyed it. I'll be tuning in next week because bizarrely enough, Prime are releasing it once a week,
and that's just what we like.
Yeah. On the plane, I watched Werewolf by Night.
Loved it. Absolutely.
Oh my god, that was good.
I loved it. I forgot about it actually because I think I watched it this week. I watched it last week.
So
I watched it on a Saturday night. Everyone was out. It's a bizarre thing to have happen. And I turned like all our smart lights. I turned them kind of red, but there was a red glowing like boom, boom, boom. And I just
because of the Heartstone.
Yeah. And I watched it, and I just had so much fun.
It's absolutely so good. It's so well done. Like it's shot like a 1950s B movie thing. It's got the titles are down pat. They look exactly like something like This Island Earth or that kind of ilk. Just so good. The acting's amazing.
More of that,
please. Great. Yeah, more. Do more. See that. Do that.
Do that.
Do that again.
So I think I said to you guys a wee while ago, like back in the day of my prime comic book collecting, I used to collect Werewolf by Night, and also its sister or brother title, Tomb of Dracula. I would very much like them to do that thing because I think that could tie in quite nicely to the Blade.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah,
it's all right. I think anyone can use the Dracula thing.
Yeah, with Mashhad Ali.
Yes,
He's coming.
Looking forward to seeing that. When's that out?
I want to say next year, but I don't think it is. I think it's 2024.
Yeah, I can't come quick enough.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to that. I really like the Wesley Snipes Blade movies.
Yeah,
they were
great. If you're jumping on a plane and looking for a book to read, you could do no worse than picking up literally any Blade graphic novel.
Okay, I will do that. And then lastly, I started watching. I didn't know this was a thing, but apparently it is. Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney, they bought Wrexham Football Club about a year ago-ish. And on Disney Plus, there is a documentary from FX called Welcome to Wrexham. And I watched the first 3 episodes last night, and I was like, "This is brilliant!"
It's good,
It's really good. They're not messing around. The first couple of episodes are pretty brutal. It's good. Yeah.
Where's Wrexham? Is that in Wales?
Yeah, North Wales. It's on the border right on the border with England.
So is that part of the Premiership? Could they jump into the Premiership?
Eventually, yes. They're in some. They actually explain it beautifully in the show. So watch the first episode in the show. It's basically they're a 5th tier team So you've got the Premier League, you get the Champions League, and then you get Division 2 and 3, I think. Because the Premier League was put in, the Champions League was the old first Division 1 when I was a lad. It was Division 1. Yeah, and then they brought in the Premier League, and that was the top tier of Division 1 went to the Premier League. And there was a whole big thing I remember at the time when I was a kid about them splitting it off, and it was all about because Sky was involved with it, and it was all about them trying to create like a Super League type thing and pay for TV, pay for matches, TV or something. I was a kid, so I wasn't really paying much attention to it at the time, but sounds about right. We want more money. They create another league. They go to that. So anyway, so it basically bumped everybody else down one league, and so Wrexham ended up in almost the juniors section of association football. So yeah, it's their battle to try and get back into greatness, and the owners, Rob and Ryan, are determined to make it happen, it seems. So they've done a documentary about it, about them buying a football club. So yeah. And the last thing I watched was last night. I watched the first episode of Crisp Rat's Terminal List, which he plays a Navy SEAL Marine guy, and they go on a mission, and it all goes Pete Tong, and there's some fallout from it. And the first episode was amazing, so I will be tuning into that later on. Also on Prime. So Prime's got some pretty interesting shows out there, between The Boys and this new Peripheral thing and the Terminal List and a few other bits and pieces. So,
but I just want to put it out there: The Boys comic book is phenomenal, and I would highly recommend.
This is the original comic book written by the Irish guy.
Yeah, I definitely.
Cool.
Well worth a shout. Oh, do you know what I was going to say? I almost forgot this. Thursday night, this Thursday coming, there's a Scottish artist, Frank Quietly.
Who, you see. Yeah.
Who has made it big, like worldwide, amongst DC and Marvel comics, and he's doing a wee chat in Kilmarnock on Thursday night. I can't believe it.
Oh, really?
His artwork so much. I've had it tattooed on my body. Like I've got Superman and his dog drawn by Frank. And when I meet him on Thursday, I'll be like that. Have a look at that. Have a look at that, Frank. That's who that is. but his stuff is amazing. Like he's a good friend of Grant Morrison. You probably heard of Grant Morrison. He's done lots of stuff. All good friends with.
Did he not do Arkham Asylum?
He did. He did indeed. All good pals. Him, Grant Morrison, Frankie Boyle, all good pals. But I'm going to meet Mr. Quietly on Thursday night for a $5. Just in Kumar. I can't believe it.
Brilliant.
So, and I was at my mum. I was at my brother's tonight, and there was kids there, and G was there, and I was just like, listen, I just kind of want to let you guys know this guy's coming to Kilmarnock on Thursday night. Like, do you guys want to go and meet him? And they're all like, nah. Yeah, but he's huge. I mean, he's like an actual comic book megastar.
Yeah.
So I cannot wait.
Awesome.
I'm so excited. It's like just so excited to go and see him for a $5.
Cool.
It might just
let us know what it's like then.
It might just only be there. Me and Frank.
You and one other guy who got the day wrong.
I know.
That's cool.
I'm quite excited about it.
I did want to. There was one more thing I wanted to say as well. A shout out to Epcot. We went to Epcot for the day when we were on holiday. If only just to go on the Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind new roller coaster they've got there. At 7:00 you can book the virtual queue thing. So 7:00 came and I hit the button and it said working And I was like, oh, we're going to get one. It said, we're out of virtual queues for the day. And I'm like, are you
Friggin'
unbelievable?
me.
Like on 7 o'clock in the morning, out of virtual queues. So we paid $15 and we bought our way into the virtual queue because that's the other option. Because I thought, I'm not coming all this way down here and I'm not going on a roller coaster. So we went in there, and it's called the Wonders of Xandar, and it's like they have this basically they've opened it up because in Epcot you've got all the countries of the world, like France and all that kind of stuff. So they've opened up Xandar in Epcot, so it's based in the park. So it's kind of it's like Epcotonians, Epcotians or whatever. They can't figure out the name of them. Anyway, the roller coaster is fantastic. It's really good. It's probably one of the best roller coasters I've been on ever. It rotates freely as you're going through the track. So it like zooms it. There's a bit where you go past a planet and you're looking into the sort of planet, and it's so good. Like it's the smoothest coaster I've been on as well. I mean, it's brand new as well, so that's kind of expected, but it is amazing. It's a great coaster. And the best bit is it launches backwards. It's a backwards launch coaster.
That also sounds like the worst bit.
It's fantastic. It actually, bizarrely, it takes your breath away, despite the fact that the wind's going that way and you're going that way. But yeah, it's great.
Good.
Anyway, that's pretty much it for us. James, thank you very much for stepping in. And Jody, hope you feel better soon. But if you like this video and you want to see more of it, more of these types of videos, then don't forget to hit the old subscribe button and notification bell, and you'll be sent timely reminders of when we put up a new video up. And Tuesday is when we do our Andor watch party. And if you like this, don't forget to smash the like button and share on social media. It really does help the channel out. Thank you everyone who took part in the chat today as well. Jay, James, Sharon. And we will catch you in the next one. Bye-bye. Oh, I need to find the outro thing. Yeah, here we go. Bye, guys. Thanks.